Hello and welcome back to another Kids Talk Sports video. Today, Greg is joining us, and we are going to be going over the standings so far through All-Star break for the NBA, and then also we'll be going over the All-Star game preview, basically. So I guess, Greg, what do you think about the standings so far?
For the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, we can do Eastern first.
Oh, for the Eastern Conference. Well, let's see. I kind of expect Philadelphia to be like number one, because they needed a coaching change, and they've been healthy this year as much as you can, through these pandemic times and stuff. But Joel Embiid is like front runner for MVP. He's playing out of his mind. Doc Rivers have him really having confidence, and also Doc Rivers is meshing well with Harris. He coached Harris in LA, a few years back, and Ben Simmons is doing well. They got a supporting cast. So yeah, I kind of picked Philadelphia to kind of be number one. Going into the season, I didn't think Brooklyn was going to be number two at this point, and that's just because dealing with the uncertain of Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant's injuries. And then of course, I didn't, no one really thought that Harden was coming to Brooklyn at the beginning of the season. Everyone thought Harden was going to leave, but we didn't know where he was going to go. So kind of think maybe a little disappointment that I may have in the Eastern Conference would be definitely the Pistons. I thought the Pistons. I'm sorry, that's the home team, but I just really thought they were going to be better than that. And the Magic, I thought they was going to be better. They was a playoff team last year. They was doing well and stuff, and so the Heat is not really disappointing because COVID took Butler out for a while, and you had injuries on top of that. So the Heat is doing pretty well now. They just need to make like maybe a trade or two. And the Raptors has been struggling, but that's kind of like I expected because of the loss of Gasol and Ibaka. Yeah, but I'm actually surprised about the Hornets. I like the Hornets, and LaMelo Ball's been playing really well, and I was unsure about LaMelo Ball like right away. I feel like he's going to be a good player, but I didn't feel like he's going to be this good right away. So that's good for them. And one more disappointment is the Wizards.
I agree with that.
Be a playoff team at least, but it's halfway through. The Wizards are sitting, at number 12 spot, and they've been, they're 7-3 in the last 10 games, so they've been playing pretty good. So we'll see.
Yeah, I agree with basically all of that. Abe, go ahead.
I told Greg earlier before the season that the Sixers are going to be good. I remember telling him about how Tobias Harris was had like one of his best seasons in LA with Doc Rivers. And I also thought that the Philadelphia 76ers were going to be number one, or at least top three. I didn't know Joel Embiid was going to be front runner for MVP, but that goes how it goes. And I guess with the rest of the schedule, I thought that if Miami didn't get COVID, I thought they would be like, in a previous video, I put them number one, just because I saw what they did in the playoffs. I think that, and then honestly, a surprise team that I have is like, I told Greg this last week. It was the Knicks. The Knicks came out of nowhere. Okay. Yeah. Julius Randle went from like basically being a nobody to being an all-star. And he's been playing his best games, or like his best season so far. And RJ Barrett's been doing really well. They traded for Derrick Rose from my Pistons, and I was happy for him, but it's D Rose. I mean, the only things people loved about the Pistons were D Rose and Blake Griffin, and both of them are gone at this point. So, and they traded for D Rose, and that added another energizer, a bench. I think he's starting now, but they added some more depth, and they have that Emmanuel Quickly dude. I think he's doing really good too. I think he's a rookie or something. So yeah, and then also they have Obi Toppin, who's still yet to grow. He was a draft pick last season, this last draft, but I have high hopes for him too. A disappointment that I have is you okay. You might be a little bit. This might be a little bit questionable, but I'm going to say the Pacers because they're usually up in the 4 or 5 spot. And they're usually pretty consistent with that. So, and then it doesn't help that you traded Victor Oladipo for Karis LeVert,
Yeah.
but still, they're usually a quite consistent team. And they're 10th right now. If I were to choose any other team, I would also say the Magic because the Magic are usually consistent as well in making the playoffs. So, especially how far they are, they're like the second to last team in the East.
Yeah.
So, one of those two, and that's basically all I have to say. I agree with Hornets being a surprise team, but I felt like the Knicks were more surprised
Yeah.
because
I don't know. I feel like Knicks, I was gonna say that if none of you guys were gonna say that because I don't they came out of nowhere. Same with the Hornets. I feel like LaMelo's carrying them. But I agree. I think the biggest surprise of a letdown is the Wizards because on paper they should be pretty good. They were having issues earlier on, but I think they're on a little bit of a run now. I expect them to still make the playoffs. But Milwaukee, I guess I'm not surprised with where they ended up because of how good Embiid is playing right now. Because now that Harden's on the Nets, that's kind of expected that they're going to be a top 3 team. But yeah, I think you guys basically summed it all up. But moving on to the West, Greg, what do you think about these standings?
Oh, okay. So first, Utah Jazz being number 1 is a big
Yeah.
surprise. Outside of the city of Utah is going to say that our team is going to be number 1 at this point in time, at the halfway point in the league right now. So, and they're clicking well. And Donovan Mitchell's playing very well. Gobert is playing well, and Conley, and they got a good supporting cast, and they've always had a good coaching staff, which is good. So I feel like they're in a really good spot, but only time would tell. I mean, 3-1 against the Nuggets, and hey, you lost that 3-1 lead in the beginning of the first round of the playoffs last year and stuff. So only time will tell. Playoffs is going to prove who's real dominant, because we looked at the Bucks from last couple seasons, they dominated, the whole Eastern Conference and almost the whole league, and they didn't make it to the finals. One time, what was it? Was it one of those times a couple years ago they came out the second round? Is that right? Was that
Yeah.
last?
they I think they
Second-
lost to the Raptors when Kawhi, and then they lost to the Heat this last season.
Yeah.
But did they go to the conference finals? I'm not sure. They go to conference finals last year?
No, they lost to
It was-
Heat in semifinals.
Yeah.
Heat and Celtics were in the.
That's what it was. So last year they lost to the Heat semifinals,
Which that reminds me also that the Heat, before I forgot about this, the Heat, I feel like if they just make the playoffs, they'll be fine. I feel like they're more of like a playoff team. Like I don't think they'll play as well in the regular season, but I think they'll be fine in the playoffs, maybe even finals again.
Yes, that's kind of like what the Lakers are. So the Lakers at number 3, it's it's expected. I was I was like, yeah, Anthony Davis, he's he's injury prone, so he's gonna go down for a little bit, but he comes back. That's gonna be the team, in the West.
Just for the playoffs, that's really what matters.
I'm trying to see like any other surprise teams in the West. None as far as like surprise, like they're doing well. I had the Suns, being like top 4, because they just played so well in a bubble, and they had like a really great offseason by, getting Chris Paul, and they got it's the Aiton. that his name?
Aiden's always been there, but
Yeah,
you know.
Well, no, what I'm saying about Aiden is that like he's up and coming.
yeah.
Mm.
So I like him as a player, and he's up and coming, and so I felt like Chris Paul is going to make him better, which is true. And Devin Booker, of course, is going to be consistent. A lot of people overlook him. I mean, I don't know how you overlook someone who scores 70 points in a game. So you know, but yeah. So the Blazers is playing really well. I'm surprised. So I'm a little surprised about the Blazers playing really well without McCollum, because he's been gone for over a month plus. And Lillard has been playing really well throughout the problems he's been having. He's been having mental problems with his family and friends and things like that. Tragedy that he had to endure. And so, but he's playing well. Kansas playing well, and they got some. They had another guy they just signed. I'm not sure what his name is. I forgot his name. That they just signed, or that came there. That's playing pretty good as well. And of course, Melo's doing pretty good. He's helped leading that young team. To bigger and better things. Look at the Clippers; they're right where they want to be. I think the Clippers need to make another move for them to get something, either like a point guard or
Yeah, that's what they need.
Another extra big guy. So the Clippers is right there. I think they have a chip on their shoulder. They got something to prove, of course. Warriors, I mean, going into it at first, we was like, oh yeah, the Warriors going to be back where they're supposed to be at. We thought Thompson was going to come at, but he's not, and they've been struggling a little bit with some injuries. But Warriors in ninth spot right now. I believe that they'll make the playoffs. The team that's really, really disappointing me, that I had high hope for, is actually it's two teams. It's the Kings and the Pelicans. So, I mean, you look at the Pelicans; they got a young, nice core of ball of Williamson and Ingram.
Brandon Ingram. Yeah.
And I feel like they should be doing a lot better than what they do, what they have been doing or whatever. The Kings definitely, that guy. I'm forgetting his name.
Buddy Hield.
Oh, not Buddy Hill.
De'Aaron Fox.
De'Aaron Fox. Oh my God. Yes, I really like him. De'Aaron
Yeah.
Fox. He's not backing down from anybody. He's a young, up and coming guy. Yeah, Buddy Hill though, he is playing really well. He is definitely playing really well. I just feel like they just need another piece to get to the playoffs or whatever. I kind of moving on. I kind of felt like the Rockets was definitely not going to make the playoffs, because I'm like, oh yeah, Westbrook is shipped out, and then Harden's going to leave. So I thought the Rockets was going to do good, even though I like the Rockets quite a bit, but still, I don't know where they're going. I mean, they just got rid of Cousins, and they look like they're probably trying to trade off Wall. I don't know where they're going with everything.
Yeah.
So they're just kind of like it's like a huge question mark around that organization right now, that I hope that they can turn around. So as far as other teams, Nuggets is going to be right there. Spurs is going to be right there. Great coaching on both sides or whatever. Luka and Kristaps, they just gotta they gotta gel a little bit more together. I think Kristaps needs to step up, quite a bit, because Luka's, he's the real deal, and Porzingis can really be effective, but he just needs to be consistent. He needs to be healthy. He needs to be consistent, and it'll be a hard out with them. So yeah, West looks pretty good. West is real deep, and they look pretty good, and things can change. And things change in a matter of a week or two. But we'll see.
Abe, what do you think?
I agree. I thought the Jazz, I think it's like the category of, I knew they were good but not this good category. Like they actually had a strong showing in the bubble last year. They just choked the lead away against the Nuggets. I expected the Suns to be good. They came off that, they went undefeated in the bubble, so that, and especially after they got Chris Paul, that was a game changer.
That was
because because that takes a lot of pressure off of Devin Booker just to score a lot. And DeAndre Ayton, former #1 pick from Arizona, I thought he was due to grow at some point, or else they would have to do something with him. And the Lakers, they were originally, I think the problem is that Anthony Davis got injured, like Greg said. So that definitely turned things off. But I think if they can, I don't know if they're just like resting him and letting Anthony Davis come back slowly so he'll be like strong as he comes back. Um, or I don't know what they're doing with that. But and also with the if you keep going down, Clippers, they're just designed to beat the Lakers. So I think they're just wanting to be in a point where they get to play the Lakers at some point. So they can just, get there, at least make a conference finals, which they've never done. They've never been to a conference finals. They definitely had the opportunity to bubble, but they just weren't able to take advantage of it. Trailblazers, I hope CJ McCollum comes back, so that team could be really dangerous. The Nuggets, I hope Jamal Murray goes back to bubble form, because that was super fun to watch. Just him, scoring on everybody, putting daggers into every team. That was fun to watch. I did not see San Antonio being good this year. I felt like LaMarcus Aldridge was I thought that he would digress, I guess. Just because he's getting older. He's not like what he used to be at Portland or early San Antonio. But they proved me wrong. I think DeJounte Murray's doing well. I don't really follow the Spurs like that, but I think DeJounte Murray's doing well. I thought DeMar DeRozan, I knew DeMar DeRozan was doing well. But Spurs are one of the surprise teams for me. Dallas Mavericks are definitely a disappointment for me. I thought they would be higher than this. Like Greg said, I feel like Kristaps Porzingis needs to start showing up more, especially if he wants to do great things with this team. He has everything. He's super tall. He can obviously rebound the ball. He has a good a jumper, like a good shot. I just don't know. I mean, they've been 8-2 in the last 10. They were originally way lower than this. So they're trending in the right direction. Golden State, I feel the same way about Andrew Wiggins as I do about Kristaps Porzingis. I feel like Andrew Wiggins needs to show up more, because Kelly Oubre scores like people don't give enough credit to Kelly Oubre for scoring and doing what he does. Obviously Chef Curry, all-star starter, so he's been doing his thing. Draymond Green, he might. I'm not gonna say anything about Draymond Green because but he's been doing what he does, getting those assists and those rebounds and some points. And I have high hopes for James Wiseman. Hopefully he can. I know they're not starting him. I don't think they are starting him, or they're putting him on restricted minutes because of that injury earlier this season. But I would look for the Warriors to go up next season, especially if Klay comes back healthy. Wiseman grows and develops, and I have high hopes for them. And then you look at the rest of it. I didn't think the Rockets would be this bad, but then again, nobody knew that James Harden was going to be traded. I do look for the Rockets to improve. I think they'll improve in the future just because they have all those draft picks now. They were looking ahead towards the future and maybe they'll sign somebody in free agency, but they're not doing so well right now.
Yeah.
I think the disappointment for me is the Pelicans, because everybody was raving about how Zion is the next big thing, which he is, don't get me wrong, but I feel like they're capable of more than this. Zion Williamson is going to be a great player. I feel like Brandon Ingram is also a great player. Lonzo Ball, great role player. But and then they brought in Stan Van Gundy, who originally coached Dwight Howard when he was in Orlando. So I don't know if they were just expecting him to turn Zion Williamson into Dwight Howard, or turning JJ Redick back to when he was in Orlando. But I think that the Pelicans are capable of more than this, and I saw them before the season being like 6, 7, 8 area. maybe taking the place of the Spurs, but they've disappointed me.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna keep it short because I think you guys summed it up. First off, Jazz, they were surprised. I didn't think Phoenix was gonna be that good, but I guess if you really think about it, I think adding Chris Paul was one of the best free agent moves of any team this year. And then the Lakers, I think as long as they just make the playoffs and hold on while AD is gone, they'll be fine. Um, and then the Clippers, like you said, I feel like they have something to prove this year. And Denver, I just think in total the West, to sum it up, I just think any of these teams can win. Because obviously it's really tough to go back to back. So like any team, any of these teams that are in the top, if they like get a little bit more chemistry, any of these teams can be um championship worthy. And I expect Golden State to get a little better and probably make the playoffs because of how well Steph's playing. But yeah, overall, I think the biggest thing is the West, like a little unlike the East, is extremely everyone has a chance at making the championship or winning it. So yeah, that's it for the standings. Now we'll give a little bit of a preview on the All-Star game. So Greg, what do you think about the preview of this?
Well, let's see. I'm going for KD's team because my favorite player is on that team, but the Browns team is going to win. And reason why is, hey, you got Giannis, you got Steph, you got LeBron, you got Luka. Who else? Paul George is on that team,
Yeah.
and who else? Lillard is on that team too. Am I right?
Yeah, it's Giannis, Steph, Luka, Nikola Jokic, Lillard, Ben Simmons, Chris Paul, Jaylen Brown, Paul George, Domantas Sabonis, and Rudy Gobert.
Yeah. Well, the ones I name is just like the ones like I really feel like it's going to carry that team to a win. Of course, yeah, you're gonna have some role players to help step up. Seeing Chris Paul in the All-Star game, it's gonna be fun. I love the way he plays. I was surprised that they actually picked him. But I kind of feel like there was more of like, we're gonna pick you because your team is turned around and you was an addition to the team. The team wasn't nowhere close to making the playoffs for the last few years. And then last year they was just at the edge, just like they just need like one more win. And so, but he turned them into just like they just missed the playoffs by like a game, and then
Now they're second. Yeah.
number 2 seed. So he definitely brought a good winning culture to that team. And so yeah, it'll be nice. It just to see him, get up. I hope they play some defense. So
Yeah.
I think they will. But yeah, but I just see like LeBron, Steph, Giannis, and Luka on the same team. Oh
Right.
man, like
Yeah, that's
you have Luka, like incredible. Yes, Kevin Durant being on that team, on the other team will actually make it more, challenging. But him not being on that team definitely takes away from it. Him being injured and not playing. So yeah, even though I'm rooting for Kevin Durant's team, favorite player is Kawhi. Because I like the way that he plays both sides of the floor, and so I'm going to be rooting for them. But yeah, definitely the Browns team is going to take on the win.
Yeah. Abe, what do you think?
I was gonna ask Greg, any snubs you got?
Snubs for the All-Star. I mean, not anymore. I mean, because people got injured, so people came in. So like Anthony Davis was injured, and that opened up a spot. Kevin Durant was injured, that opened up a spot. So yeah, I find it, not saying he's a All-Star this year. He's playing better now, but it's just weird. Like you look at an All-Star game and no Russell Westbrook. That's just, yeah, it's really weird to me. I'm just saying, like MVP, was it 4 or 5 years ago? This MVP,
Mhm.
you know, and now he's not in the All-Star game. So I don't really feel like I have any snubs right offhand. No, I don't feel like I have any snubs.
All right, Abe.
Okay, so I'm gonna say that Team LeBron's gonna win too. Just cause like they have everything, you know. You got Curry shoots the three. Giannis has that like driving mentality and like that physicality. Obviously, you got LeBron, who's can do a little bit of both. I think the main thing for me is like I feel like they have better depth. Um, because you have Lillard, who also is kind of like another deep range shooter. Chris Paul, the slicey, he's like very like slasher like along with Ben Simmons. I just feel like they have a better depth because you know, I know that it hurts that KD's not playing because of that hamstring injury, but I think that with the depth that the team LeBron has, I like Team LeBron in this one. As for snubs, I have a couple. DeMar DeRozan from San Antonio, he's the main star in the San Antonio Spurs, so I think he was a snub. And I think I honestly I don't I haven't been really I think maybe Bam Adebayo could have been an All Star, or Tobias. Tobias Harris could have been an All-Star, but I think the way with Ben Simmons was playing, I'm not Ben Simmons. Joel Embiid was playing, that it kind of overshadowed what Tobias Harris has been doing.
Okay, so I'm just gonna. I really would have liked to say that Team Durant's gonna win, but I mean, kind of like Greg said, this a Team LeBron team is literally insane this year. You have LeBron and Steph on the same team, plus now you have Giannis, who's one of the best players in the league, and then Doncic and Jokic. I don't know. That's just so overpowered, and Durant's not even playing now. So as much I'd like to say Team Durant wins, probably be Team LeBron. However, I feel like the Team Durant team is kind of like the underrated quiet people. Like Kawhi Leonard, he's not like that flashy or anything. Devin Booker, he's pretty underrated. Bradley Beal, he's on a horrible team. Embiid, like, he kind of gets overshadowed sometimes. So I feel like that team, like that, it has that edge, but I really don't understand how Team LeBron could lose this game, unless neither team plays defense and it's just like a shootout that goes out till the end. But from that perspective, I really don't see how Team LeBron could lose. But yeah, I guess let's give score predictions. And then that'll be the end of the video. So, Greg, you want to go first?
You said as far as the score,
Yeah, score prediction.
uh, 136 to 125. LeBron's team take.
Okay, Abe.
I'm going high scoring in that just because the All-Star game doesn't seem to have any defense. I don't understand why they don't play defense. Though maybe you're an All-Star because of your defense. Like, I don't understand that part about not playing defense. But as of the score, I think it'll be like 150, 140 range. I'll say like 157, 144. I think it'll like be a pull away type of game.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna say, obviously we all said Team LeBron, so I'll say like 143, 135. I mean, I think it'll be kind of close. That's pretty close, but yeah, I think it's gonna be high scoring because again, I don't think anyone's gonna play defense. So
They don't
that
want
would be
They don't want to get injured, or they just don't want to try.
yeah. I think that's why. I think they don't want to get injured.
yeah.
But yeah, okay, so that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Thank you, Greg, for joining us. And
No problem.
make sure go ahead. What were you saying?
I said no problem. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it, guys.
Thank you. And yeah, make sure to share, like, and subscribe.